Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Johnny Bean, and this is exclusively Van Halen, the Van Halen online show and podcast. Look at this, you guys. Another brand new interview from Alex Van Halen, this time the New York Times. You guys, that article yesterday was incredible. This one, let's read it. Let's read this, you guys. So, let's do it. Let's do a show. Make sure to smash that thumbs up, you guys, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, especially if you like your Van Halen. We love talking Van Halen over here, so let's do it. All right, here we go.
Hey, this is Michael Anthony right here, and you are watching exclusively Van Halen on the Johnny Bean TV. Keep it there. Woo! See ya!
Hey, what's up, you guys? Johnny Bean here. This is exclusively Van Halen, the Van Halen show on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. And you guys, another amazing article. Actually, we will read this together. Okay, here it is right here. Look at this. Alex Van Halen, New York Times. You know, we got the one from Rolling Stone yesterday. And I hear that he was very happy with that article. Very cool. I think we all were. I think it was something that was just something just incredible to finally get Alex's side of a lot of this stuff after all these years. But first, before we start, we must say hello to the top tier of channel members here on YouTube. Channel membership, it's a great way to help support the channel and support these shows. And the top tier are the executive producers. They are currently Bay Area Rich, Majestic PB&J Cat, Magic, Music Therapy Laz, Michael B, Sherman Callahan, Nova 9, Warlag, Arhabs, and Janice Lala the intern. Thank you guys for your continued support over here on the YouTube side. Like I said, we have channel membership, and it's a way to help support the channel, support these shows. And because we bring you this stuff, this is pretty much, I do almost daily shows now. Actually, I did 2 yesterday. We talked about the Alex Van Halen Rolling Stone article in the morning. And then we talked about Jakey Lee and what happened to him. And as we get more news on that, we will definitely cover that. So, but hey, let's see who's here really quickly. And then let's get into this. Scott, what's up, man? Rock Daddy, Colt 5150, Keith H, channel member, Dan Gorman, what's up? Music Therapy Laz, channel member, executive producer. Laz, are you here? Are you watching? Okay. Okay, so the thing about this article is there's a paywall to read it on the on say like a desktop, but you can read it for free on mobile. So unfortunately, I can't share the screen on desktop, but I can read the mobile version of it. And so I can show you guys some of the other photos here. New York Times, there's Alex. Eddie Van Halen changed rock history. Now his brother is telling their story. Alex Van Halen's new book, Brothers, recounts the story of his personal and musical life with his brother, Eddie. There you go. So I'll be reading this from the mobile, the mobile device. But any questions, comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. Pascal is here, channel member from France. Welcome. By the way, it's October 16th, 2024 currently. It's 11:04 a.m. out here in Santa Cruz, California. So again, smash that thumbs up, you guys. And if you like your Van Halen, this is the place you want to be. So we will do some reading here. Okay. Okay, the guitarist and drummer formed the core of the powerhouse band. After Eddie died of cancer in 2020, Alex stayed quiet, but he's breaking his silence in a new book. And of course, that book, Brothers, comes out later this month, and Alex is doing an interview down in it's Culver City, Los Angeles, and a few of us will be attending that. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool event. So look for exclusive coverage right here. What's up, A&E? I see you. So glad I caught this live. Yeah, we're live right now. You know, we do morning shows now. It's a cool thing. Okay, so I've got a bunch of words to read here. We're going to be reading some stuff. I'll read the whole thing for you guys. And I'll admit, I'm not the greatest reader in the world, so bear with us. So, anyway. Okay. On October 4th, 2015, Van Halen performed at the Hollywood Bowl in what proved to be its last show, capping a decades-long run as one of rock's most successful and influential acts. The amphitheater is about 30 minutes from the 800-square-foot house in Pasadena, California, where the Van Halen brothers, the drummer Alex and guitarist Eddie, grew up. I've been there. I've been past there many times over the years, and we have friends that actually pay tribute to Edward on the anniversary of his passing every year. It's like the fourth year they've done that. Let's see. But the journey between those spots took the group all over the world, through the highest heights and lowest lows of rock and roll glory, excesses, and tragedy. And thank you, Keith H., for the like on X. Yeah, we're live on X right now. You guys can watch us right now on X, YouTube, Facebook. Okay. Alex, 71, has learned to be grateful for every moment of it. During a video call one morning in September from his home in the Los Angeles area, he cited an old saying, "In the effort lies the reward." He was dressed casually in a blue button-down check shirt underneath a leather jacket, sunglasses on, and dark hair brushed back. On an otherwise bare wall behind him hung a gold record for Van Halen's 1978 self-titled debut album. "That's exactly how Ed and I felt," he said. "The ride was the reward, and it's been a hell of a ride." That trek, the first 30 or so years of it, at least, is chronicled in Brothers, a book that will be published on October 22nd, which Alex was moved to write after losing Eddie, his younger sibling, by roughly 20 months to cancer in October 2020. He characterized the project, told with the New York writer Ariel Levy, who will be at the event down in LA that we'll be attending, as a painful experience. But he said, "You got to go through the pain to get to the other part." And there's a nice photo of Alex right there. It looks like he's sitting in a car, obviously. I was going to say, it looks like that truck. There was this truck that Edward had. I don't know if it is. I know that they had many cars. Okay, anyway, nice photo. There's a caption under that. "Alex and his brother were extremely close. Every day, the first thing I do is call him," he said. "We would talk. We would yell and scream at each other, but we were always supportive." Alex was a commanding presence on stage, especially in the Van Halen early years. Recall him bare-chested, furiously bashing away behind a massive drum kit in the 1981 video for Unchained. You guys all know that. That was actually filmed in Oakland, California, which, I mean, I'm in Santa Cruz, but that venue, the Oakland Arena, is like, it's about an hour and a half away from here. I've seen Van Halen there many times over the years. But he was always more reserved with the press. He cited the role of mouthpiece to the band's exhibitionist singer David Lee Roth and his brother, who was routinely hailed as one of the greatest guitarists of his generation. Ed found a new way to play. The Toto guitarist Steve Lukather, a longtime friend of the Van Halen, said in a phone interview. And then he kept recreating the instrument over and over. Lukather, who played rhythm guitar and bass on Michael Jackson's hit Beat It, Eddie took the solo, continued. Not since Jimi Hendrix did someone have that kind of impact. Now, it's interesting that he brings that up, because if you guys remember the article yesterday, in Rolling Stone, Alex had said that he was still furious about Edward doing the solo for Beat It. Still to this day, he's mad that Edward did that. Why? I guess why give Michael Jackson that when that should have been, on a Van Halen album? I think Alex had said he would rather have had Michael Jackson on a Van Halen record than have Edward on a Michael Jackson record, because the song Beat It on the album Thriller is what kept 1984 from the #1 spot, even a couple years later. Okay, we saw that. Despite Eddie's years-long battle with various cancers, his death at 65 was not necessarily expected. We were getting ready to make another record, Alex said of the period after the Hollywood Bowl show, which was in 2015. The news, let's see, an outpouring of emotion from fans, family and friends, bandmates, and some of the biggest names in the music world, but Alex issued only a brief public statement. Brothers breaks his silence, because we haven't heard from Alex publicly since in all these years. Why did he write it? To add a little more depth to the understanding of what Ed was all about, he said, addressing the intensity of the attention heaped on his brother, whether for his transformative guitar playing or later in his life, his addiction and health struggles. He added, "When you're in the spotlight, people tend to speak for you. I wanted to remind people that Ed was not a commodity. He was a complex human being." And then they have a photo of Van Halen singing Happy Trails, 1984 era. There they are. Very cool. Let's say hello to some people real quick. A&E, Beat It, the song and video was so good. Yeah, that was my first... I'm thinking I first heard Edward on the Beat It solo before I even heard a Van Halen song. The Hollywood Bowl was 2015 and their last show. That's right. OMG, when they sang Happy Trails at the end of the show a cappella. Yeah, they did that. Actually, Van Halen actually recorded a demo for Happy Trails in 77. But it wasn't re-recorded and released until 1982 on Diver Down. And so on the Diver Down tour, Diver Down in 84, they would end the shows with Happy Trails. Alex would come out and they would all sing, VH is watching you, us. Bob, what's up, man? On Facebook? Yeah, Bumbadita. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Okay, and there's a caption under this photo here, which we just looked at. It says, from left, Michael Anthony, David Lee Roth, Alex, and Eddie Van Halen. Brothers effectively end. See, this is something that might be a shock to some people. The Brothers book effectively ends in 1984. So there's no mention of the Hagar years at all in this book. Around the time of the Van Halen's initial split with the frontman Roth. Alex, more than anyone would know, even for siblings, they were very close. Every day, the first thing I would do was call him, he said. We would talk, we would yell and scream at each other, but we were always supportive. Don Landy, the engineer and producer who worked beside the brothers on the Van Halen's first 8 albums, said Alex and Eddie were a unit who were either fighting or defending each other from everybody else, but absolutely locked together. Don Landy. Early on, it was for survival. The family, headed by their Dutch jazz musician father, is it Jan Van Halen? Jan Van Halen? Jan? It's spelled Jan, but I always heard it was Jan or Jan. And Indonesian mother, tiny but tough, Alex writes. They migrated to America in 1962. Alex was 8, Ed was 6. They rode for many days on a boat from Holland to New York, impressing the crew and fellow passengers by performing classical pieces on is it Rippin piano? That was one of the few possessions the family brought across the ocean. Today, the instrument sits in the hallway of Alex's home. It's representative. It represents the whole trip of us coming here, Alex says, turning his camera to display the weathered upright. What did he learn on it? I learned to dislike it, he answered with a laugh. He learned to not like the piano. And then the photo is the one that I'm showing on the screen here. Wow, that's a great photo of Alex. Wow. I've seen on some comments on Facebook. By the way, thank you for everybody that tags me in this stuff. A lot of you guys, I get up, dun, dun. And a lot of you guys continuously tag me in these articles on Facebook and X. And I just want to say thank you to you guys that do that. And anyway, so on Facebook, there's a lot of comments about this and these photos. And I'm seeing a lot of comments saying Alex looks a lot like his mom. Let's see. Lewis says, by the looks of Alex in that photo, he's really hurting. Half his heart went with Eddie. I mean, Alex and Edward, they were, like we just read, they were a unit. They were Van Halen. It wouldn't have been the same. Say if it would have been the other way, the band would have stopped regardless. You spend your whole life trying to make what happened before happen again. Alex writes of the band's biggest success. I honestly believe that's what cost my brother his life. The family made its way to Southern California, where their mother had relatives, and the brothers were entranced by the blazing Southern California sun, by the stream of Felix the Cat cartoons on TV. Eventually, Alex writes, by the wilderness and rebellion of rock and roll. But they were also outcasts. Neither spoke English, and the family was often in turmoil. Their parents argued, and Jan struggled to find steady work and music gigs, developing a worsening drinking habit along the way. Alex was the tough one at times, coming to physical blows with his father. Eddie, in his view, was more sensitive. In the book, he recalls his mother hearing Eddie practice guitar in his room and referring to his soloing, something that would come to evoke joy and awe in millions of listeners, as that high crying noise. Wow. I think I remember Edward saying that in an interview one time. He said, my mom called it a high crying noise. And even Michael Jackson had said, I like that real high stuff that you do. I mean, I think everybody watching this, you'll agree. When you hear Edward solo, you know it's him. You know, the tapping, the tremolo picking. I mean, everything. Lewis, take care, man. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Dave Wright. Hey, Dave. So disgusted that Roth didn't want any part over acknowledgments of Eddie during a show. What is wrong with that guy? I mean, we'll see what Roth says. You know, Roth has actually, his social medias has dropped he's posted twice since the article yesterday, but nothing having to do with any of this. It's been some of his like art pieces or like photography, and it's stuff that's like from years ago. It's not even current stuff. If our mother didn't like the sound of that wail, can you blame her? He writes, it's hard to hear your kids suffer. When the brothers hooked up with Roth, a Midwest transplant from a well-off family, they recognized a shared experience despite their very different upbringings. He was basically the same as us, Alex said. He felt himself as an outcast. Together, the three, along with bassist Michael Anthony, manifested a flamboyant band that made music filled with high voltage riffs, earworm melodies, and lead guitar. I think it's jumping around. And lead guitars. All that intensity from the stuff that happened to them in their childhood came out in the music, Lukather said. That the ultimate party rock act had angst at its core isn't wholly surprising, and throughout Brothers, Alex illuminates the point. He writes of his father, who had served in the Dutch Air Force in World War II, once telling him and Eddie that when the bombs started falling, people didn't pray. They went to the basement to party like there was no tomorrow. The Van Halen ethos in a nutshell, that accounted for why when we were on stage, we were happier than most, Alex said in the interview. And there's a nice photo of Alex with one of his, I'm going to assume that's one of his wife's horses. Right there. I'll show you guys, after we're done here, I'll show you guys these photos too, because I loaded them up into the system. It's okay if I'm blurry. I'm just reading. Working on his book was a painful experience, Alex said, but you've got to go through the pain to get to the other part. Come on. There we go. Love that picture with the horse. Brenda says, "Hey Brenda," over on Facebook. Yeah, I'll show you guys the photos again once I'm done reading, because I've got them here. What I'm doing here is I'm sharing the screen on the computer. See, that's the thing about the New York Times article, is there's a paywall to read it on a desktop. Like, you can't click through, but on mobile you can click through and you can just read it. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm reading it for you guys. Brothers effectively ends in 1984, around the time of Van Halen's initial split with Roth, as Alex explained. I already read that part, right? Oh, that was a caption. This period from when the band formed through Roth leaving defined the real vibrant spirit of the band, he addresses in his own struggles that followed with alcohol until the mid-'80s. With other medications after an old neck injury flared up a decade later. But accolades more space, both on the page and emotionally, to his brother's battles. Eddie, he writes, had flashes of genuine This thing keeps jumping around. He's saying the brain scrambling tapping lick in Eruption, the keyboard part that opens up the chart topping jump, these moments which made him so beloved by so many, Alex says in the book, also haunted him. You can spend your whole life trying to make what happened before happen again, he writes. I honestly believe that's what cost my brother his life. So, interesting. I think he's saying, you know, Jump was like their Van Halen's biggest hit. And I think trying to continuously top that, I think is what he's possibly saying. I mean, that's what Edward said years ago in an interview with Lisa Robinson. He had said that, well, for one thing, every song on every album was to Edward was there was no he loved them all. I remember Edward saying in that interview, was Jump better than Drop Dead Legs? No, because he likes both of them. You know? By the way, thanks for tuning in, you guys. We have 104 watching right now. No, 114. We have 114 watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and repost. If you like your Van Halen, I talk Van Halen here all the time. And I love bringing you guys this stuff. So, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow me. Follow me on X, Facebook, YouTube. Okay. The path Eddie followed in later years, marked on and off by substance abuse, erratic public behavior, and unconventional theories about the cause of his cancer, is one that Alex is still trying to reconcile. Looking back on it all, he said, really, really made me angry. I wanted to grab him by the throat and shake him and go, "What the blank were you thinking, Ed? But it's too late now." But Brothers is not a story of regret. It's a tale of understanding, of acceptance, of love. If you're going to tell the story, you should give equal space to the good and the bad, Alex said. Because the good doesn't make any sense without having the bad. I know that sounds like philosophical mumbo-jumbo, he added, but I really wanted to emphasize the fact that Ed was brave up until the last minute. And at the end of the day, he's got nothing to be ashamed of, and I wish that he was here and that I could say, "Ed, let's try it one more time," because I know he had it in him. Wow. That's the end. That's the end of it. Yeah. Wow. Amazing stuff, you guys. Alex Van Halen, New York Times. I'll show you those other photographs. Let's change branding real quick. Should be this one. Okay, that's the thumbnail. So started with this one here. I will take that. There we go. So that's the main photo for the article. Again, this is the New York Times. And then as we scroll down, we saw this one of Alex sitting in at first I thought that was maybe Edward's truck. But that's one of their cars. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me what kind of car that is. I don't know. And then there was another photo of Alex. And this, I'm assuming that's one of his wife's horses. Because that's what she does. And then the last photo, that's the one I used for the thumbnail. Exclusively Van Halen, the online show and podcast, which is what you guys are currently tuned into. Here on YouTube, on Facebook, on X. There we go. So, what'd you guys think? Let's take some comments here, and then I'll let you guys go. Thank you again, you guys, for tuning in, for subscribing, for joining me, for these live streams. Bay Area Rich, channel member. Thank you again. Great to meet you, man. And thank you for the gift. Bay Area Rich gave me this guitar the other day. We did an unboxing on last night's show. This is called a Firefly. And it's like a Van Halen tribute guitar. Thank you again, Bay Area Rich, for this. We will be modding this. We'll be changing stuff around on Saturday night. Having a great time. Thank you again, man. Let's see. Is it Melbu? Alex starting to look like an old Indonesian woman. That's what people are saying on Facebook, is that he's starting to look a lot like his mom. Let me show you guys a photo of his mother. Van Halen mom? Oh, there we go. That did work.
Edward Lodewijk Van Halen was born on January 26, 1955, the son of Jan Van Halen and Eugenia.
Eugenia. Okay, here's Eugenia and Wolfgang. Look at that. So yeah, Alex looks a lot like looking like his mom. Yeah, that's a great photo too. Then here's a photo from 1983, I believe that is. I think that's actually at the premiere of The Seduction of Gina, which was one of Valerie Bertinelli's TV movies. Eddie actually did like 2 songs in that movie. He did the main theme song, and then he did a driving scene when Valerie's driving over the Bay Bridge to San Francisco. So that's their parents. That's Alex, Jan Van Halen, their mother Eugenia, and Edward, 1983. That's a great photo. You guys have seen some of these. I'll show you guys another one. I'm sure you guys have seen this one. This is Eugenia, and her name was actually Eugenia Van Beers. And then, of course, when she married their father, she became Eugenia Van Halen. That's Edward. That's Edward and his first guitar right there. Looks to be like a Japanese, like a Kent, either a Kent or a K or something. There's so many guitars like that. I used to work in a guitar shop in Berkeley, and we had all those guitars. So I've played them all. I've seen them. Yo, thanks for subscribing. I just saw that. Stream Elements, thank you for subscribing. Is it Giacomo? Giacomo, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you guys again for all your support watching these shows. Brenda says, I had no idea about his back injury. Yeah, that's the reason why he hasn't played. And you could say that's the reason why Alex sold all this stuff, because he couldn't play anymore. From what I'm reading here and from what I'm hearing, because people tell me stuff too. Like I hear all kinds of stuff. He's definitely gotten better. Like he had to walk with a cane for a long time, and Alex spent about a year on his back. He basically couldn't walk. Yo, wait a minute. Pal Guitars, dude, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Pal Guitars. Oh yeah, you changed the lights. These lights you can change in real time while we're live with a super chat. Pal, I'll leave that up. Thank you so much for your support for the channel, man. Thank you so much. Alex, in the mid-90s, hurt his neck, Eddie said, when he was picking up his son. Is that true? At first I thought, what? I don't know who that is. Ruth Ginsburg. Who's that? I am so buying this. So glad he is doing press. A&E says, buying the book. Yeah, you guys, get the book. Get the book, you guys. Like I said, I will be down in. Hey, Sue, I see you. Sue is here. Oh, no worries, man. Deli. It's all good. Oh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a Supreme Court justice. Okay, A&E. Buy the book. I'll have it. I'm getting a signed copy. I'm going down to the Los Angeles event where Alex will be. He'll be doing an onstage interview Q&A with Ariel Levy, the writer who helped write the book with him, brothers. And I'll bring you guys exclusive coverage from that. So keep it here, as Michael Anthony says. And smash that thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up, you guys. So there you go. There you go, you guys. Another Alex Van Halen article. Very cool interview. Let's see. Deli is saying Fair Warning is the best Van Halen album ever. Changed my mind. I can't disagree with that. Let's see. You tell from the Rolling Stone interview that Sammy is dead to Alex. It really sounds like Alex doesn't like Sammy at all. I mean, the book ends basically what Alex had said is that when Dave left Van Halen, that was the end. That was the end, and also what Alex had said. We'll recap a little bit of this and then we'll split. But Holly Lewis, I see you, channel member Holly Lewis, welcome. We are live right now. We got 132 watching right now. See, you guys, things are getting bigger and better around here. We do a pop-up show, and to get 140 people here on a pop-up show, that's pretty good. So I just want to thank everybody for watching these shows and joining us for these live streams. I like to do this stuff live for you guys. Going to Culver City myself, 2 wheels barking. Hey, right on, dude. I'll see you there, man. I'll be there. Culver City event. I will be there. Yeah, he said nothing happened after 1984. Cold. Oh, man. It's odd to find Alex on the DLR and only real Van Halen team. What? Oh, I see what you're saying. That is actually a compliment. Alex moves like Sammy never existed, ever. In any and all reality. JB, thank you for not using clickbait. So many channels do, and you always put up authentic video title. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you guys. We got 141 watching right now. If you're brand new to this, and if you like Van Halen, I love Van Halen. I mean, I love all of it. I love everything Van Halen, no matter what it is. And I bring you guys, the truth, the news, all that stuff. No clickbait here. None of that. We don't need to do that. Team of Angels, I'm here to see about Alex Van Halen. Brand new photo of Alex Van Halen right there, Team of Angels. There you go. Brand new photo. What about Van Halen 3? I liked Van Halen 3 because I really felt that was Edward's solo album. Although, we'll see what Alex has to say about that, I mean, like we said, the brothers' book ends during 1984. There's no mention of the Sammy years at all in this book. Could there be a second book for that stuff? We'll wait and see. It's kind of looking like maybe not. Like those years maybe didn't, don't even exist to Alex, is what this sounds like. But during the event down in Culver City, which again, I'll be there. A couple of you guys in the chat said you'll be there. I think we'll learn more about this. And again, if you're not able to attend the event, it'll be recorded and you'll be able to watch it like a few days later. If you get the book through that route. So I saw that. S. McMillan, Alex is still grieving and our prayers are with him. Oh, man. Yeah. Alex, if you're watching this, we love you, man. And I mean, I think we can all agree. Even though Alex is saying that I don't know if it was so much maybe the fans, I guess, or the media saying that Edward was the greatest, really put a huge strain on Eddie. And that's why he drank and used drugs, and ultimately what, he got cancer. I think it was the pressures of being, Eddie Van Halen is what it sounds like to me, or that's what Alex, is saying. So, but I think we can all agree that Edward, I mean, is the best. There's nobody else like Eddie Van Halen. Nobody. Thanks for subscribing, Brian Lovin Drums Cam. Hey, thank you for subscribing, man. There was only one Eddie Van Halen, no matter what. Nobody else is going to come around and change things the way that he did. I'm sure, there could be another player at some point, come out, do something totally different. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, AI is changing everything. It's interesting, in the Rolling Stone article that we read yesterday, Alex had actually said that he was actually looking into AI on how to analyze his brother's guitar playing for possible future unreleased music. Very interesting. Did you guys hear that? Very interesting thing. I mean, we know they did that with the Beatles. The Beatles released one last song, and some of that was kind of AI-ish. I mean, the thing with AI though, you guys, I love AI. I'm huge into technology. I do these shows. I love doing these. I love bringing this stuff to you guys. So I look into all this stuff. With AI, that doesn't totally mean you're like creating something that's not really there. That means you can enhance things with AI. You can pull something out. I mean, that's what the Beatles did. If you guys know this, I forget. In the chat, what was that Beatles song they did? The very last Beatles tune? If you guys remember, they actually took a cassette that John Lennon had recorded, and you could hear like a TV in the background. It was like a crappy recording of him playing a piano and singing. It was called Now and Then, Deli? I don't know. And what they did was they analyzed that tape. They brought it out, and they were able to make it. AI was able to take out all the hissing and that TV and everything. They were able to pull that out, and they were able to create a song around that. Hey Joe, what's up, man? Joe, welcome, dude. Good to see you. So what the Beatles did, I mean, I don't know what Beatles fans think about that. Some people probably think it's amazing. Some people probably think it's terrible. I'm not the biggest. I mean, I love the Beatles. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not some Beatles freak where I'm like, oh, no, that was terrible. I thought it was cool for what it was. Hey, Charles Kelly, channel member. I see you guys. If you guys would like to help support the channel membership is a way you can do that. That's why his name is in green in the chat. You can see that. See, Deli is saying, yes, it was recorded at the same time that John made Real Love and Free as a Bird. Let's see, Dan Gorman saying hi to Holly. But Now and Then was too low res to complete in that. Yeah, Deli, that's right. So it was called Now and Then. Okay, so the Beatles put out a song called Now and Then. They tried to work up the song in 1995, but technology then wasn't, up to par yet. There was no AI. There was barely internet. So years later, the Beatles are able to create this song, and it's still the Beatles. I thought it sounded great. So for CC, what's up, man? So for Alex Van Halen to even consider looking into that is actually a huge, I think it's a huge step. And personally, I think, anything Alex Van Halen wants to do, I mean, he is Van Halen. You notice when his accounts post, they post, "We are Van Halen," right? So anything that Alex, wants to do, the AVH Tribute Remastered is using AI. They're pulling stuff out of Van Halen stuff. Dude, I've seen your stuff. Awesome, man. So say for Alex Van Halen to even look into that, like that he's not totally like against that, that's a good thing, you guys. It really is. Because say if he was like, nah, I'm not into that, whatever, because when Wolfgang had said on Howard Stern that there was a lot of stuff in the vault, and if they go through it, it could take years and years and years. And for us fans, we're like, yeah, we know there's stuff there. But I think Alex even said in the article, the Rolling Stone article from yesterday, I think Alex had even said that stuff, it's not really complete songs. And that's what I've been saying all this time too, that I really don't think the stuff is complete tunes. And you guys know that Edward had said years ago in an interview that if it's not finished, you'll never hear it. So I think for his brother, for Alex to be, open to go through that stuff. And I know Alex has some of that stuff. In the article yesterday, Alex has music on his phone. He has new songs on his phone, and it sounds like that he's proud of the stuff. So for us as fans, for the potential of hearing the stuff, and of course when Brothers comes out, we're going to hear that one track called Unfinished, right? We're going to hear that. So, I mean, that's just an amazing... We'll go another 10 minutes, you guys. We'll make this an hour. We have a lot of people. We have 151 watching right now, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, I think... Anyway, for Alex to... I'll say this again real quick. For Alex to even be open to looking into AI and analyzing, what Edward's guitar playing on what... the possibility of finishing some tracks, And what Alex had said in the Rolling Stone interview is that if he could get any singer to sing on anything, it would be Robert Plant. So that would be interesting. Hey, Sean, I see you guys. Sean Z, I see you. Gary did say they had complete music ready before he left A&E. Oh, you're talking to AVH Tribute. Yeah, I mean, it always sounded like there was a follow-up to Van Halen 3, and it was done. Will we ever get that? It'd be cool. Who knows? I mean, you never know. You never know. But the fact that Alex is open to going through some of this stuff and to finish up some stuff, from the vaults. Is a huge thing for us as Van Halen fans, because for a while there it kind of sounded like, yeah, we may never get anything. But like I said, hey Scott, what's up, man? Scott, brand new member. Thank you so much for your support, man. Scott Hawk, channel member. Your name is in green now in the chat on YouTube, Scott. There you go, brand new member, sponsor of the channel. Okay, just some quick highlights from the article recap. Organic, yes. Yeah, so New York Times article. They have a paywall on desktop, so if you're a subscriber, you can read it. But if you're on mobile, you can read. And basically, I mean, it's the article. It was similar to the one yesterday, but it basically talks about how the book is coming out and how it was similar. Let me see. I actually did some screen caps. There are some photos. It basically talks about how October 4th, 2015 was their last performance. And there's some brand new photos. They have a quote from Steve Lukather from Toto talking about how Eddie kept recreating the instrument. And something we learned from yesterday, speaking of Lukather and Van Halen, Michael Jackson, Alex is still furious that Eddie played on Beat It to this day. Still, I think from what it sounds like is that Alex believes the beginning of the end for Van Halen was when Eddie played on Beat It, because that opened the door for David Lee Roth to go and do solo stuff. That's what it sounds like. And yesterday we had learned that Alex, one of the reasons why he doesn't play anymore is because in 2022 he went to the shooting range and he fired a gun and it kicked back and it knocked him down and he broke his back. That's why he it's from what it sounds like is that's why he doesn't why he sold his stuff. And a couple quick highlights. Actually, here on YouTube, I'll have some of the highlights in the description of the video once we're done here. And of course, you can always, scrub back but a few other highlights. Basically, after Van Halen played the Hollywood Bowl, they were gonna make another record. They were getting ready to make another album. And that's when things just started falling apart. Let's see. So the article, the New York Times, it talks about the family coming over on the boat, having a piano, which Alex still has to this day in his living room. And they talk about how Edward and Alex, when they first met Roth, they bonded because they all considered themselves outcasts. And then there's some nice new photos of Alex. I'm going to assume that's one of his wife's horses, because that's what she does. She rides horses. That's a great photo there. Let's see. Few comments, and then I'll let you guys go in a few minutes. I used to think that Diver Down was a bad album, but now I'm starting to appreciate it more. I always loved Diver Down. I've always loved it. Someone must ask if any new Van Halen material will ever be released again. There is a Q&A section coming up at the event in Culver City. They are taking questions from people that are there. Excuse me. I already submitted a question. I'm sure that will be a question. If any new VH material will be released again. I mean, from the sounds of it, like I said, the fact that Alex is open to using AI, to going through the vaults, I think there's a good chance that we'll be getting more stuff in the future. We're already getting a track from this book, although it kind of sounded like it sounds like Alex has several tracks on his phone. Like the interviewer from yesterday heard something. It sounds like the interviewer from yesterday heard something different from what we're getting with the book, the audiobook. That's what it sounded like to me. Can you tell us the question you submitted? I actually can't remember. It was late. It was late at night when I submitted it. Hopefully they pick me. Yeah, we'll see. A&E, Van Halen 2 is insane. Light Up the Sky is crazy. They all sounded demented, like they are sacrificing. What? Oh my goodness. Van Halen 2 was a great follow-up to Van Halen. You know? I mean, all those albums were, you know, you could say each one, well, you could argue each one was better than the last. Some people say Van Halen 1 was the greatest. I mean, I don't think anybody will argue it's one of the greatest debuts of all time. But again, that goes back to what it sounds like Alex is saying here, is that the pressure that Edward Van Halen felt of being considered the greatest guitarist ever, that put he had the article yesterday, the Rolling Stone, Edward had just his anxiety was crippling, and that's why he drank. And that was built from people just always wanting, you know, like saying, "Hey, you're the greatest, you're the greatest." And so and Edward was the spark plug for all the music for Van Halen. I mean, Edward had always said this. Maybe Alex, you know, will tell us, you know, something else. That's something too. Actually, that might have been my question. Actually, Holly, was if when they wrote, you know, I think actually that was my question that I submitted. It was something like when you guys, you know, when you guys reworked, you know, the music for each album, because as a Van Halen, well, AVH Remastered here in the chat can tell you, you know, you've been analyzing all those songs, right? Van Halen reworked a lot of music. Like if you're a diehard Van Halen nerd like me, Van Halen reworked so much music over the years. And what you got on the albums, like you would get like demos from like 77, and you would hear stuff like I told you earlier. Bombadita, Happy Trails, they actually recorded in 77. Not the version you heard on Diver Down, but they had recorded that before. So it was something that was in their catalog. You know? So, anyway. Let me see. Couple comments. The fame and the attention. Eddie not only had the look, he had the sound. Eddie was a spark plug in musical direction. Alex Van Halen was the owner. A&E is saying. Yeah, Eddie was definitely the spark plug. He came up with the riffs, and it sounds like to me, Edward and Alex were always together. They were always in the studio, like let's say every day. Every other day, they'd be there, whether they were making a record or not. They always played. That's all they did. That's all they knew, was to make music. It's like when people would ask, you know, Eddie in interviews, "Hey, if you weren't Eddie Van Halen, what would you be doing?" He'd be like, "I don't know. I'd be a gas station attendant." You know. That's all he knew. That's all he knew how to do. Holly is saying yesterday was Wolf and his wife's first 1-year wedding anniversary. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't mention that, but that's true. Yeah, I saw that post. Yeah, that's cool. Congratulations. Congratulations, you guys. Always jamming. Yeah. Yeah, and when they built 5150 in 1982, the studio, they had a place where they could jam and record all the time. So there has to be well, there is definitely. There's years and years and years of music there. But the thing is, they're on tapes that you basically have to. It's like old school reel-to-reel tapes, and they dry up, you know, after so many years, and you'd have to put them in an oven and heat them up and bake them to expand to get them to work on the player. And then there was a computer at 5150 that basically crashed. That cataloged everything. And I think the only one that knew all that stuff was Eddie. I'm sure Alex knew some of that stuff, or knows some of that. But I think that was the whole thing about you know, the music in there. Like they would have to go through years and years and years of stuff. Deli is saying, here's a question. Who owns 5150 now? I would say Wolfgang owns it, yeah. I would say Wolfgang owns the property. That was Valerie Bertinelli's property originally. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Alex and Edward lived with their parents on Las Lunas in Pasadena until Eddie lived at home with his parents until he married Valerie in 1981. I don't know if you guys knew that. But they're always on tour. They're always on the road. I mean, that's the thing. When you're a pro in a pro band like this and you're out there, selling millions of albums, you're on the road nonstop, recouping. That's why bands tour. Is you put out an album, you pay the record company. The record company lends you the money. You sign a record. This is how it used to work. These days now, it's it can be a little different. But basically, a record company loans you the money to make the album. You make the album, and then you go out on the road to promote the record. That's why bands play concerts. Laz is here. Laz, what are you doing, man? You're working? Laz, I wanted to know if you wanted to join me on this, but I guess I asked you, but I guess you're gone. So anyway, that's why bands go out on tours, to recoup the money for the recording of the album. And then if they're successful, they, you keep going. And of course, obviously with Van Halen, they every album, success. You guys know this. So, but it sounds like Eddie was under so much pressure, and eventually, from that's what it sounds like to me. All that pressure of being the spark plug, for this, and constantly being told, "Oh, you're so great, you're so great," when he just thought of himself as just, who he was. And I met Edward. I met him 10 years ago at a friend's party in Hollywood. A mutual friend introduced me to him. And when I met him, he was just a normal dude. And I know we have a lot of new people watching us right now. So I'll show you guys a photo real quick. And then I'll let you guys go. But thank you guys for tuning in. By the way, if you are brand new here, consider subscribing to the channel. We're actually looking to get, our next goal here on YouTube is 12,500 here on YouTube. So if you'd like to help us reach that goal and join us, we have a great time doing these shows. I do pretty much almost daily shows here. I do a lot of Van Halen stuff. I do a lot of rock guitar stuff. I'm a musician myself. I've got guitars. I'm in a brand new studio here, so we do like guitar repair stuff. We do all kinds of stuff. But I met Edward. We took some selfies. Not the greatest quality photos because it was so dark in there. But there's me and Edward right there. This was 10 years ago. I know, that's a terrible photo. There was one more, actually, right here. That's me and Edward from 2014. Right there. But when I met Edward, he was just a normal guy. Normal dude. And it hit me like 2 days later. I'm at a stoplight and I'm like, I met Eddie? No way. But he was just a normal dude. But really, he is the greatest guitarist. You can, there's other people that, I like and listen to, and, but as far as, when we say the greatest, as far as somebody that totally reinvented an instrument, totally reinvented a style, totally reinvented, what he did, it's not just his playing, but his thoughts, the process of how he worked, what he did. They had the everything. Van Halen is just, it's just an incredible thing, and we're so lucky that we got to experience this in our lifetimes. Yo, what's up? Sat Sadova Rose 420, first time checking on your channel out. Dude, welcome. Consider subscribing to the channel. Do you talk about Sabbath? Tommy says. Huh? Black Sabbath? The Van Halens actually had a secret meeting with Sharon Osbourne. We learned that yesterday. They were possibly going to do something with Ozzy, but the Osbournes TV show, this is about 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, the Osbournes TV show basically that stopped any kind of progress with with Ozzy doing anything with Van Halen. Music Stream. Ed was not only a great player, but his tone sound was the best. Yes. Everything about Eddie Van Halen. I mean, he was so unique in Music Stream. Hope all is good, man. I will see you soon, Music Stream. I will see you soon. Edward Van Halen was so unique. There will never be another like him. Regardless. You can pick up your guitar. You can try to be him. But you're just copying. To reinvent an instrument. And the thing is, Edward didn't just reinvent the guitar. He basically reinvented everything that he did. Everything Eddie did, he would rethink. And will we get some of that in this book? Possibly. You know, because Alex was the closest to Edward. Nobody knew Edward like Alex did. I mean, they were brothers. Just incredible. Incredible stuff. See you guys. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. We have 160 watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're at 1,300 views live, you guys. This is amazing. For a pop-up show, this is incredible, you guys. Thank you so much for your continued support for this channel and these shows. Music Stream is saying, even if you can play an EVH guitar part, no one gets that tone. Oh, that's correct, man. Nope. Nobody. Thanks for subscribing. Darkness. Thank you so much. Yeah, consider subscribing to the channel, you guys. Consider subscribing. A few more comments, then I'll let you guys go. I think the magic behind Ed's plan is that he played guitar as if he were a clarinet player. Listen to Jan's or Jan's solo on Big Bad Bill. Ed got his sense of melody from his father. Yeah. And that's something, Dan Gorman, thank you so much. That's something that Alex said in the interview yesterday. Was that's where the Brown sound came from. Was their father's reed for his clarinet. That was where the Brown sound came from. The organic, earthy tone. It came from the reed. You know, it's made of wood, right? And they applied that to the guitar. They applied that to the snare. All that. Incredible stuff. Michael B., channel member. I lived Everdown today. Traded it away as a kid. What? Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff, you guys. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, I love Van Halen, you guys. And that's why I do this show. You know? I love Van Halen. I'll bring you guys anything Van Halen. You know? I listen to all other kinds of music. You know, I love music in general. I'm a musician myself. But if you guys like your Van Halen, this is the place. This is definitely the place you want to be, right here. So subscribe. All right. I will let you guys go, I think. Do you guys want me to keep going? In the chat. I don't know. How long have we been on? We've been on for an hour. I do need to do this. Kenneth, what's up, man? You can keep going, Jeff T says. Should we keep going? Can we see if we can reach 2,000 views live? We're at, we're just under 1,500 views live right now on YouTube. If we go for another like 5 minutes. Well, let me ask you guys. I think. Okay, we can hang out for a few minutes. Let me ask you guys again. We have a lot of new people here. Favorite Van Halen album in the chat? What's your favorite Van Halen album? You got Van Halen, Van Halen 2, Women, Children First, Fair Warning, Diver Down, 84. And again, that's where the book ends. The book ends at 1984. In the chat, favorite albums. Favorite Van Halen albums. Van Halenized. Charles Kelly, channel member, says. Scott says, yeah, we'll read some comments for a little bit. I'll keep going for a little bit, you guys. Scott says, I'll stay at work with headphones on. Kenneth, can't wait for the book, dude. The book is going to be incredible. I'm going down to Culver City to the event Alex is going to be at. And I will bring you guys exclusive coverage from that. So make sure you guys keep it here. Michael B. channel member says 1984. A&E says Van Halen 1. Kenneth says Women, Children First. Charles Kelly, channel member, says Fair Warning. A&E says Van Halen 2. Wait a minute, you're naming all the albums. Is it Melba? Says Van Halen 1. Holly Lewis, channel member, says all of them, but Unchained is my favorite song. Unchained is an awesome tune. Somebody sent me, I don't know if you guys, some of you guys might remember this, like basically 75 Van Halen tracks leaked, and somebody said they were like Ted Templeman demos or something. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but there was a snippet of Unchained that had some other tracks pulled up. Did you guys hear that? I have it. It's basically, there's no main riff. You guys know Unchained, right? Here, let's play the new guitar that Bayer Rich gifted us. Hang on. Are we in tune? Should I plug in? I'm in a new studio now. I can do whatever I want. We can do anything we want in here. Here, let me plug in real quick. If I could find my guitar cable. It's not there. Oh, it's over here. Yeah, I might as well play some guitar for a minute here. Joe, you'll be at that thing too? Right on, man. I'll see you there, dude. Yeah, that's going to be an incredible event. I am really looking forward to it. All right, you guys can hear that, right? I just unboxed this guitar on the show yesterday, so it's not necessarily in tune. You guys can hear that, right? Here. I just want to play the Unchained riff for you guys, just to show you guys something. Check this out. Are we in tune, though? It's my first time playing this guitar, by the way. Anyway, you guys know the riff, right? You right? Okay. So you got the main riff. I've got a brand new standing desk for these shows. It's pretty cool. Okay, anyway, so that riff. Hang on. Are we taking calls? Hang on. Hang on one. Anyway, you guys, we gotta go. Anyway, thank you again, Charles. Bay Area Rich. Thank you again for that. Anyway, we'll be playing more of this guitar and doing mods and stuff this Saturday night. Okay, we'll be doing that. Anyway, there was a reason I played you guys that riff. I was going to demonstrate something, but tune in on another show, you guys. Okay. All right, I got to run. There's somewhere I got to be. I just realized. Couple quick things, you guys. NAMM show coming up. I'll be there as media January 21st. So tune in right here for exclusive NAMM show coverage. This is the place you want to be, right here. So join us. We'll be live for hours and hours and hours at the NAMM show. That's the music industry instrument convention. It'll be awesome. So tune in. And again, consider subscribing if you're brand new. Thank you to our new subscribers. We're looking to reach to 12,500 here on YouTube. And I know we've got people watching on Facebook and watching on X. We have a lot of people watching us on X these days. Consider following me on X. And yeah. So, okay. Exclamation point S in the chat will give you all my social media links. And this has been an episode of Exclusively Van Halen, the Van Halen Show. I know it says weekly show. We do these shows pretty much every other day. So anytime there's breaking news, we bring it to you here. So make sure you follow us for any breaking Van Halen news. And anytime you want to talk Van Halen, this is the place you want to be, right here. We have a great time. Excellent article, New York Times, Alex Van Halen. Excellent stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I got to run. We almost did it. We're just under 1,700 views live. You guys rock. Thank you again. And I will see you guys. I'll see you guys on the next show. Okay? This is... Let me see. Let's play a couple things here. Play a couple outros. All right. This is Johnny Bean TV. Bye-bye.
And then I'll give you mine, so come back around this way.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Mike. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm Johnny Bean. I met you last year. I talked to you on Google+.
Oh, yes. I remember you. Yeah.
I look like,
All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
All right.
He was at a Google Plus hangout.
I'm Johnny Bean. Thank you again to our channel members. Thank you for your continued support for this channel and these shows. And if you're a brand new member, your name will be added to this list on an upcoming episode. All right. I got to go, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. All right. What show is this, Michael Anthony?
Hey, this is Michael Anthony right here, and you are watching exclusively Van Halen on the Johnny Bean TV. Keep it there. Woo! See ya!
Thank you again for watching. Click on another video on the screen on YouTube and drop some comments below. What'd you think of the article? I want to see 20 comments down below, okay? We'll see you guys later. This is Johnny Bean TV.